In this screencast, we'll be going over how to factor something that has a number in front of the x squared other than 1, and that's the ax squared plus bx plus c form. There's two basic ways you can do this. You can do something called guess and check, which is where you look at two integers that multiply to give you a, as well as two integers that multiply to give you c. You're going to place them in the parentheses with the signs and see if they happen to work. You keep trying until they multiply back to give you the original polynomial. So we're going to show you that method using 6x squared plus 11x plus 3. This is the example that we used in class. So I'm going to look first at the 6. And there are two ways I can multiply to get 6. I can do 1 times 6, or I can do 2 times 3. I'm going to also look at 3. The only way I know how to multiply to get 3 is 3 times 1. So I'm going to set up my parentheses, and I'm just going to pick 2. So we're going to take 6x, index, 3, and 1. Since I have to multiply and end up with a positive 3, and when we add the two terms in the middle, we get positive 11, I'm going to put a plus and a plus. Now we're going to see if it works. 6x times x is 6x squared. Looks good. 6x times 1 is plus 6x. 3 times x is plus 3x. We're going to add those together. We get plus 9x. That does not match my middle term. Now usually then what I'll do is I'll keep the 6x and the x in place, and we'll swap the 3 and the 1. And try again. So 6x times x, 6x squared. 6x times 3 plus 18x. 1 plus x times x is 1x. Oops, plus 19x. Still not working. Okay, so I'm guessing that the 1 and 6 is probably not my choice. So let's try 2 and 3. 2x plus 3, and we'll try 3x plus 1 and see if that works. 2x times 3, 6x squared. 2x times 1 plus 2x. 3x times 3 is plus 9x. That's plus 11x. That looks good. 1 times 3 there at the end is plus 3. So we found our winner. Now this time it took me 3 times. Sometimes it may take me once or twice. So we'll kind of have to see what happens. There's a second way we can do this, and that's by using what I call the x box method or the x plus the box method. Same exact problem. I'm going to start by drawing an x, and you'll notice as I'm drawing my x, I'm very deliberately setting the bottom lines under the 6 and 3. The top number in our x is our multiply number. And we get that by taking 6 times 3, which is 18. The number here in the middle, including the sign, is our add number, just like we did before when we were looking at 1x squared. So now I'm looking at two numbers that multiply to give me 18, add up to give me 11. I think that's going to be, let's see, 9 and 2. 9 times 2, 18. 9 plus 2, 11. Now, these two numbers move on to our box. We're going to draw a box, just as you're seeing on the screen. It has 4 spots. In the first spot, we are going to put our 6x squared. It's always from the original problem. The 9 and the 2 come along. 1 goes in the top right, the other goes in the bottom left. We need to add an x after each of those. Since they're positive, if it helps you, put a plus sign in front, but they are positive. The 3 at the end goes in the bottom right box. So what's happening here is we're kind of taking our original 6x squared plus 11x plus 3 and breaking it down into the 4 parts. Now we're going to go down first. I'm going to look at my 6x squared and my 2x, and I'm going to ask myself, well, what do they have in common I could factor out? 6 and 2 both can be divided by 2. Both terms have an x. We take our lower power of x, which is x to the first, just like when we did GCF factoring. Go down the other column. 9 and 3 both can be divided by a positive 3. And since my 9 is positive, we know it's got to be positive 3. If that 9 was negative, we would use a minus. Do the same thing going across, 6x and 9x, or 6x squared and 9x squared. 6 and 9 both can divided by 3. Both terms have x. We need x to the first. 2 and 3 only can be divided by 1. It's positive 1, so we put plus 1. So we think it factors into 2x plus 3 times 3x plus 1. Now, watch my check here, because this is pretty cool. 2x times 3x, 6x squared, first term in the box. 2x times 1 plus 2x, that's in the box. 3 times 3x, 9x, also in my box. 3 times 1 is plus 3 in my box, and oh, when I add the 2x and the 3x, there's the 11x in the original problem. So it's kind of cool. It checks. So that shows you what the x plus box method looks like. I really like it because it works pretty well. Let me give you a couple more examples with the x box method. Let's try this one. We have 5x squared plus 13x plus 6. So I draw my x. 5 times 6 is 30. It goes in the box as the multiply number. The add number is the 13. Two numbers that multiply to give me 30, add up to 13, are 10 and 3. 10 times 3 is 30. 10 plus 3 is 13. Setting up my box. 5x squared from the problem goes in the first one. I have plus a 10x, that's from the 10 in blue, plus my 3x, also from the blue, and plus 6 from my original problem. Okay, going down, 5x is squared, 3x, 1 and an x that they have in common, or just x. 10 and 6 both can be divided by 2, plus 2, no x because they don't both have x's. Going across, 5x squared, 10x, both can be divided by 5, and both terms have an x. Lowest power is x to the first. 3 and 6 can both be divided by 3, and I don't need x. So again, we think this factors into x plus 2 times 5x plus 3. Do my quick check. X times 5x is 5x squared. X times 3 is plus 3x. 2 times 5x plus 10x. Add 3x and 10x, that gives me the plus 13x. And 2 times 3 is plus 6, so that looks pretty good. Okay, let's try another one. Let's look at this one. 3x squared minus 19x minus 14. Okay, so we draw on our x. We're going to take 3 times minus 14, which is a minus 42. My add number is negative 19. This one might be a little harder. Let's see, my initial thought for 42 is 6 and 7. 6 times negative 7 gives me negative 42, but does not add up to negative 19. Not going to work. If 6 works, well, 3's got to work. See, 3 goes into 42, 14 times. Make that negative. Multiplies to give me negative 42, does not add up to 19. Let's try 2 because it's even. 2 goes into negative 42, negative 21 times, and that does add up into my negative 19 that I need. So 2 and negative 21 is what I've got. Okay, from my original problem, 3x squared, we have plus 2x and a minus 21x. Again, those are the numbers in blue you see, and a minus 14. Going down, 3x squared and 21x, negative 21x, we've got a 3 and an x, and because that top term is positive, we go with the positive 3x. 2x and a minus 14 can both be divided by positive 2. Again, since the 2x is positive, we put plus there. Across, 3x squared and 2x will give me a 1x. Negative 21x and a negative 14 can both be divided by 7. However, since my 21x is negative, we need the negative sign there. So we think this factors into 3x plus 2 times x minus 7. Let's check her out, see if it works. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times minus 7 is a minus 21x. 2 times x is plus 2x. Add those up. There's the negative 19x I need. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. That's good. Now, I know I said at the beginning I was going to do 2 more. Let's do 1 more so you can see that negative in action 1 more time. Let's go with, we're going to do 6x squared minus 7x minus 3. Okay, draw my x. 6 times negative 3 is a negative 18. My add number is negative 7. 2 and 9 multiply to give me 18. If I make the 9 negative, negative 9 plus 2, that's going to give me the negative 7 I need to move on to my box. Okay, so I got my box, 6x squared, and we've got a negative 9x, a positive 2x, and a negative 3. Okay, 6x squared and 2x going down. Both have a 2 that goes into each and an x. Negative 9x and a negative 3. Both can be divided by negative 3. And again, we need the negative because of the negative in front of the 9. Go across. 6 and 9 can both be divided by 3. Positive because of the 6x squared. And we need an x because both terms have x's. And last but not least, the only number that goes into both 2 and negative 3 is positive 1. Once again, positive because of the positive 2x. So we believe it is 2x to minus 3 times 3x plus 1. Check it out to see if we're good. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times plus 1 is plus 2x. Negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. Add those up. There's my negative 7x. And negative 3 times positive 1 is negative 3. So it checks out and we are good to go. Hope that helps you out. Have a great day.